I'm explaining a film from 2023 titled Missing. Spoilers ahead. Enjoy the content. A father named James and his daughter June were shown in a 2008 video having fun together. June's mother, Grace, joined them shortly after. As they were playing, James's nose started to bleed. It was discovered that James had a brain tumor, and he passed away shortly after. It had been years. After June and Grace relocated to Los Angeles, June developed into an 18-year-old adolescent. She seems to like utilizing her phone's smart applications. Grace contacted June and said that she was going on vacation for a week with Kevin, her new boyfriend, and when Grace left, she left a message that her friend, Heather, would look after June, who would be alone at the house. June felt that she was old enough to be on her own. They both argued about it. It was seen that Kevin and Grace were getting ready to leave. Kevin and June's relationship was not good and June didn't seem to care about him. Grace said that she and Kevin would go to Colombia for a vacation. Kevin had taken care of everything. They planned to return after a week and hoped that June would come to pick them up at the airport when they returned from their vacation. When the cab that would transport them to the airport pulled up, they both departed. Following her mother's departure, June was alone, so she called his pals right away to come over and have fun at her place. But, Heather soon arrived with supper for June. Before heading out to chill out with her pals, June had to stay for a bit. After that, she attended parties with her pals. Fortunately, her mother gave her a sizable sum of money. While her mother continued to use Kevin's phone to email her holiday photo from Colombia, she spent each day hanging out with her pals. June was really depressed that day because it was Father's Day. She missed her father so much. She then made a party at her house to cheer herself up and went drunk all night with her friends. The next day, June's cell phone alarm went on indicating that it was the day when her mother returned from vacation. June had to go pick up her mother from the airport, but she hadn't cleaned the house after the party last night. She decided to hire an online cleaning service and then went to the airport. After she arrived at the airport, she waited for her mother, but even after the last person left the gate, she couldn't find her mom, which made her worried. She attempted to get in touch with her mother but received no reply. After that, June returned home and searched for the hotel's phone number in Colombia, where her mother had been staying. It seems that the hotel staff speaks Spanish exclusively. Despite her inability to speak Spanish, June never ran out of ideas. In order to converse, she instantly utilized Google Translate to translate every phrase. In addition, June used the internet's maps feature to find the location of the hotel where her mother had been staying. When she noticed that there was a CCTV, she went straight to the hotel staff to ask for the film, but they informed her that Grace and her boyfriend Kevin had already departed. Additionally, he informed June that if she desired to view the video, she has to come to the hotel before they deleted the footage in 48 hours. Hearing this, June, who was confused about what to do, then tried to contact Heather about everything. It turned out that Heather had also reported it to the embassy, which would later take care of the report. After that, June got a call from an FBI agent sent by the United States Embassy, Agent Elijah Park. Agent Park told June to open her mother's email to check for any clue to her missing. June tried to open it with her name as the password, but even after trying many times, the password didn't seem to work. In addition, June informed Agent Park that the hotel's CCTV video will be deleted in 6 hours and that it would include important information about where her mother may be. June attempted to recruit a Colombian cleaning service to assist her in obtaining the CCTV video from the hotel since she thought the FBI was not moving forward. She came into Javier, a man who claimed that June made him think of his kid, who he hadn't seen in 3 years. It led him to choose to assist June. June urged Javier to go to the hotel right away so she could look at the security camera video. Meanwhile, June's friend Vina arrived at her residence and assisted June in locating Kevin's details. It seems that Kevin is the CEO of a company. After various methods, they managed to open Kevin's email and immediately checked Kevin's location, but, based on the information, Kevin apparently turned off his location on Sunday, the day before they returned to the US. On the other hand, Javier contacted June again. He said that the footage was no longer there, but he got information that 2 American tourists had left the hotel for a hardware store. June got the bright notion to locate Kevin's credit card from his most recent usage in order to ascertain their destination. Before they vanished, Kevin visited 8 locations, which she discovered. June came back to see how Kevin's emails were going. There, she discovered a picture of a woman. In that email, Vina assisted June in opening an account that Kevin had barred. It was discovered that Kevin had been going by several aliases, including Jack, Darren, Kyle, Luke, and many more. Kevin was also identified in a few of the emails as a con artist who had embezzled money. What was worse was that June discovered more information indicating Kevin had served 3 years in jail. June also discovered a story about a lady who was last in contact with Kevin. Her account was at Bunnycake 310. It was known that the woman worked as a bartender and an amateur actress. After searching for a long time, June got the phone number of a friend of Kevin's named Jim W. She told Jim that Kevin was seen visiting him 2 weeks ago, and Jim confirmed that, saying that they both were ex-convicts and friends since they met in a church long ago. Sadly, June didn't receive any cues from Jim. Following that, Javier told June that someone had reported seeing an American traveler who appeared to be Kevin and Grace's similarity. To purchase a padlock, they went to the hardware shop. June questioned the purpose of her mother's padlock purchase. As June checked her mother's email, she gave it some thought. She discovered that her mother had been looking for a date using a dating app. June then followed up on the initial exchange of messages between her mother and Kevin. After using that app to find each other, they began dating. An intriguing message from the conversation was also included. Grace revealed to Kevin a truth about her background that she had been keeping from June. Grace would tell Kevin when the two of them met. It can be seen from his mother's profile that there was a note saying, "Take me somewhere romantic." From there, June got the idea to look for a romantic tourist destination that was closest to the hardware store earlier. Finally, June found a tourist spot which seemed to be filled with people putting padlocks with their initials on them on the bridge. Javier proceeded directly to the spot and discovered the padlock containing the initials of Kevin and Grace. June then checked up on the spot using the city's real-time CCTV cameras. A few days prior, she viewed the video and discovered her mother and Kevin standing on the bridge. It appears from the video that Kevin asked Grace to marry him on the bridge. Agent Park sent June a video shortly after that showed Kevin and Grace being abducted. 2 of them were abducted by a gang of individuals driving a vehicle. Agent Park believed that Kevin's fraud victims were the abductors. June noticed something off about the pictures her mother gave her using Kevin's images, and as soon as she looked them over again, she discovered that her mother had never shown her face to the camera. She then felt a resemblance between the woman in the photo and the woman that owned the @Bunnycake 310 account. June opened the account again, and when she saw a video that could be played, it turned out that the woman that owned the account had some resemblance to her mother. That only meant that the person who had been in Colombia with Kevin was not June's mother, but the woman who owned the @Bunnycake 310 account. It turned out that James had been working as a drug dealer. To cut a long tale short, the FBI has located the lady who was using the @Bunnycake 310 account, according to TV News. Rachel Page is her true name. The FBI assumed June's mother was still in Los Angeles since they knew she had never departed for Colombia. The FBI conducted an investigation. In an effort to locate her mother, June participated in the search as well. Everyone's attention turned to the taxi driver who had driven Kevin and Grace to the airport once word got out. It was established that the individual had no travel history and that the license plate was a forgery. It's probable that Kevin had an accomplice in the taxi driver. Additionally, the vehicle that abducted Kevin in Colombia was also found. It turned out that they were a group of students who were paid by Kevin to carry out the kidnapping act. Together with that, the FBI had also found Rachel Page, who provided information that she was only paid as an actress by Kevin to dress and walk like Grace, and she thought it was just an act that could raise her career to become a famous actress. It turned out that James had been working as a drug dealer. Since Heather is not only Grace's friend but also her lawyer, many began to wonder about Grace Allen's identity once the story went public. In addition, a lot of people in the neighborhood had the notion that Grace had helped Kevin escape by working as his accomplice. June was hurt by the remarks made about her mother by the community as a result. She gave it some thought and made the decision to attempt and learn more about her mother's background. June discovered a person through Kevin's account. The number that was provided was really Heather's office number. June ran directly to Heather's office out of curiosity. She recorded everything using her smartwatch. It was already night. The place was quiet and no one was there. June looked at the computer which was carrying out the deletion process, which meant that someone had just come there. Apart from that, on the table, a photo was also found with a note, saying the writer will kill Heather if she ever opened her mouth. June found many strange things there. She then found a necklace that probably belonged to Heather that had been scattered on the floor. It turned out that James had been working as a drug dealer. Additionally, she heard a faint sound from someone in pain, which turned out to be Heather's last breath in the room's corner. She was discovered and died soon after. June was certain Heather had died. After that, she went back home and informed Agent Park of what had happened. Agent Park was enraged upon learning that June may put her own safety in jeopardy by going inside Heather's office alone. Since Heather was aware of Grace's background, her death serves as evidence that she had turned into a victim. It appeared as though June was being watched over by someone who was also the mastermind of the tragedy. Additionally, that individual chatted with Kevin. The mysterious person even hacked into all of June's conversations with her friends. Vina was seen sending a video when the FBI managed to find Kevin's hiding place. It was seen in the video that Kevin was about to run away, so the police were forced to shoot him to death. June played back the voice recording that his mother had sent to her, and suddenly, June remembered her childhood nickname, Junebug. She immediately tried to enter that name in her mother's account password, and it turned out, the password worked. It turned out that James had been working as a drug dealer. June promptly followed Grace's most recent journey and discovered a blocked email. "She has the right to know," was the statement in the email. June continued to search for the sender of the email since she was even more intrigued. A short while later, June was directed by the email to the offender's CCTV footage. Nevertheless, June received a call from Jim, Kevin's buddy. He claimed to know something about Grace, and then unexpectedly, Jim was outside June's house, forcing her to open the door for him. June was terrified, especially since Jim was a former prisoner, but when his head covering was removed, she saw that Jim was actually James, her father, who she had assumed had passed away. June was so surprised. James said that he would explain everything inside. Even though she was afraid, June was curious about her mother's whereabouts. She then opened the door. The two of them finally met again after years of not seeing each other. James then told June that her mother's real name was not Grace Allen but Sarah. James and Sarah used to fight a lot when June was a little child, until one day Sarah took June out of the house. Although Sarah said James was deceased, there was more to the story. James was imprisoned. June inquired further if James had met Kevin while inside. As it happened, Kevin and Sarah's cab driver on the way to the airport was James. June was suddenly called by Vina. Her father abruptly grabbed her and hauled her away as she went to pick it up. Let's go back to the videotape from the movie's opening. That footage revealed James's actual nature. To Sarah, he was an impolite husband. Sarah discovered a lot of narcotics stashed away in the attic of their house. It turned out that James had been working as a drug dealer. Sarah then made a scenario to frame James, and finally, James was arrested by the police and sentenced to 10 years in prison. After James was arrested, Sarah took June and changed her name to Grace Allen. It was all suggested by her lawyer, Heather, for the sake of their safety. Back to James, who was seen bringing June to a house. June was imprisoned within his home. After that, James walked to a garage in the backyard and locked Sarah inside. After that, he gave her one of June's clothes. Sarah was able to escape and lock James out of the garage when James pulled out a revolver and tried to murder her. Sarah went straight after June and eventually located her. She then revealed to June that Heather's death was caused by James. James arrived as soon as they were ready to go and shut the door from the outside. June discovered an always online camera there in the interim. June then used her smartwatch's Instagram account to call Javier. However, before she could fully explain, her watch ran out of battery and the call was disconnected. Suddenly, James entered the room. James insisted to take June with him, but this was not allowed by Sarah. Sarah continued to get in the way, causing James to shoot her in the stomach. June attempted to flee in fear, but James was able to catch her. Sarah used this as an opportunity to catch James off guard. She gave him a neck stab. James went into a panic right away. He attempted to locate the closest hospital right away as a result, but it was too late. He bled to death. June and Grace, however, were imprisoned within the home. June apologized to her mother again and over. Then she recalled that James's computer was directly in front of her mother's phone. June discovered that James's PC was linked to the operational camera. June came in front of the camera and tried to activate Siri to contact the emergency number. After that, the police arrived to evacuate them both. In the end, June and her mother talked on FaceTime, both saved from the incident. Meanwhile, Javier finally reunited with his long-lost son. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, do subscribe, like and comment if you'd like to see more videos like this. Hope to see you next time.